Really different. Gender, where does gender live? Gender is in our, it lives here, Gender is something, it's an idea. Gender is something that is a concept. It exists in our head and in our hearts. I think that's I'm glad you added that. Gender is an idea. And gender is different from sex. And gender words are words like man, woman, gender fluid, agender, etc. Those are gender identity words. And by the way, gender expression is another thing altogether. Gender expression is how you perform your gender. It's how you decorate yourself to show people what your gender is. Does that make sense? So there's sex, gender identity, and gender expression, 3 different things, and now we know that. And so one of the modifications, let me tell you about the modifications I've made to this Kinsey-like scale. So we're starting with this Kinsey scale, and now we're going to change it. When people talk about the Kinsey scale, oftentimes we talk about same sex, opposite sex. Or same gender, opposite gender. The first thing I do is I don't use those terms interchangeably. Gender and sex are not the same thing. For the purpose of my map, we're going to be working with gender identity. So words like man, woman, gender fluid, etc. Okay? We're not talking about male, those kinds of words. Okay? So we're talking about gender identity. The next thing is, raise your hand if you've ever heard the term the opposite gender or the opposite sex. That's very often accompanying the word gender or sex is the word opposite. I have gotten rid of the word opposite. I do not say opposite anymore ever when talking about sex or gender. What does the word opposite do to our thinking? 2, it makes a binary. What else does it do? Oppose.
It's a negative, yeah.
It's a negative. It's like an antagonistic word. Think of the word oppose that is hidden inside the word opposite. It's almost as though the 2 categories are at war with each other. Oppose. I don't think that men and women are opposite. I don't think we are in opposition. I think that men and women are different, not opposite. So one change in my language is that I don't say opposite sex ever or opposite gender ever. I say different gender or different sex. So that's one modification I made. Another modification I've made is understanding that not everybody has a binary gender identity to start with. So in my map, you start with your own gender identity, whatever that is. So you start with your own gender identity word. And then the question is, are you attracted to people whose gender identity is similar to your own gender identity or different from yours? Does that make sense? So if you identify as a man and you're only attracted to women, where would you be on this scale if this is different gender only? You'd be a 1, right? So if you're a man only attracted to women, you would be a 1. If you're a man only attracted to men, where would you be? If you are a woman only attracted to women, where would you be? You'd be 7 at the edge of the scale. If you are a woman mostly attracted to women, where would you be? You'd be 5 or 6 or somewhere up there, right? Does that make sense? And if you identify as gender fluid or some other non-binary gender, it's up to you to decide what similar and different means to you. I also recognize that there are some people, no matter how much I modify this map, this is now not resting on the gender binary anymore, but even after that, there may be some people who feel that they can't easily put themselves onto this map. Raise your hand if you've ever filled out a questionnaire and come to a question, a multiple choice question, where none of the answers offered made sense to you, was the right answer for you.